You may have heard that Donald Trump gave a speech yesterday in Poland that was quite interesting. He said, "The fundamental question of our time is whether the West has the will to survive. Do we have the confidence in our values to defend them at all cost? Do we have enough respect for our citizens to protect our borders? Do we have the desire and the courage to preserve our civilization in the face of those who would subvert and destroy it?" Okay, let's deal first with the stuff I don't like. The Nazi undertones, of course, and I'm not calling him a Nazi, but the terminology does have that far-right whiff to it that I'm just not a fan of. It's full of nationalist sentiment. It's this otherizing rhetoric. He's talking about respect for our citizens. He's talking about those who would subvert and destroy our civilization. It's always us versus them. This otherizing is really against the universal values that we should be striving to embrace. Respect for our citizens? So what, are we meant to not respect other citizens? Plus, he's talking about protecting borders. Not a bad thing per se, but it is couched and it's all this other shit that just gives it this far-right stink it's hard for me to get over. And there's also more subtle stuff I don't like. He mentions our will to survive, and that's a pretty sort of Nazi way of looking at the world. Will, of course, is a concept first brought into philosophy by Schopenhauer, but it was popularized by Nietzsche, the will to power. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, to be fair. I personally consider my own willpower to be a number one asset. And of course, Green Lantern, he channels the green light of will through his power ring, and he uses it to defend Space Sector 2814. I know that's a nerdy reference, but you know what you're getting with the grade everything. Point is, the way he says it, I don't like it. And note the point about survival. Life as a brutal struggle for survival, that's a profoundly Darwinian way of looking at the world, and one which, again, seems to entirely ignore the immense leaps forwards we've made as a human civilization precisely because we started looking at humanity as striving together towards common goals, each individual equally worthy of respect, even women, if you can imagine such a thing. Okay, so that's what I don't like, but the questions, even if posed in a cack-handed manner, are genuinely important. Because we are facing a number of civilizational threats in the West. Liberalism, I truly believe, is being eroded, both from the outside and from within. On the right, we have angry nationalist mobs who deny facts and science like climate change in the name of, it's not really clear what. And we have religious intolerance that runs the spectrum from shaming women who choose to have an abortion, to denying homosexuals equal rights, to throwing them off cliffs, to forcing women to wear bags, to chucking bombs at kids in concerts, all that stuff. And on the left, of course, we have angry internationalist mobs who deny facts and science too, like the biological basis for gender, and in the name of the most pointless version of political correctness, by the way. And we have political intolerance that runs the entire spectrum from shaming anyone who has even the mildest disagreement, to denying conservatives their equal rights to speak, to attacking and humiliating anyone who disagrees with their false narratives, to also providing a shield to those religious extremists in the name of some twisted "the enemy of my enemy is my friend" logic. Well, at least they haven't reached the bomb stage yet. They're still learning how to set fires to trash cans. So the question I'd like to ask Trump is, what are the values we should be striving to defend? What does it mean to preserve our civilization? Is it really just about keeping the brown people out? Okay, let's say I go along with that. We've still not dealt with the deep fundamental issue, the fact that nobody seems to give a shit about our values anymore. Nobody truly believes in tolerance, to the point of tolerating diversity of opinion, that is. Nobody truly believes in classical liberalism. Nobody likes anyone else's free speech. You've got people saying that maybe it is okay to use violence instead of dialogue against people with extreme views. Nobody cares about our culture and our history anymore, except to point out how evil white men are. And I have a hard time finding atheists with genuine respect for any Christians too. Those are the values of our civilizations and what we stand for, and I'm asking as someone who will actually stand for these rights and believes in defending these values. Mr. Trump, how the hell is border control gonna fix this?